Yeah, we met over Instagram, didn't we?
Yeah, we met over Instagram. Cool. I mean, everyone over Instagram these days.
The famous fire emoji.
So my name is Hayls.
Be like, look at me now.
You know, when you're younger and you think, like, what am I going to be when I'm older? Like, who would have actually thought, like, oh, I'm going to be an online coach?
The risk.
Yeah,
everyone's got to take that
Risk
risk, haven't
worth
they?
taking.
Yeah.
Well, you done a similar thing, didn't you? You took a risk.
Yeah.
Some Tuesdays, if he's in the doghouse, it might not happen.
We can't let you go off this podcast without having a bit of puffy chat. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Couple of Coaches podcast. Bit of a different one today. As we know, everyone's a bit bored just listening to me and Mike talk all the time. So we have a very special guest. We have Hayley with us today, who is another online coach. So does what me and Mike do, but obviously we all do things differently, don't we? So good to get a bit of a different opinion, different perspective. So yeah, welcome, Hayls. Welcome to the podcast.
Pleasure to be here.
We I think we met over Instagram, didn't we? Like probably all online coaches do, because you just see everyone everywhere.
Yeah, we met over Instagram, didn't we?
Yeah, we met over Instagram. Cool. I mean, everyone over Instagram these days.
The famous fire emoji.
Yeah, he slid in the old DMs.
That's a golden one.
Yeah.
I didn't get one of those.
Lads, it works.
It does work.
Just send loads of fire emojis out and hopefully want to get back to you.
One will just sort of...
Want to just buy it and keep it.
Anyway, less about that.
Lucky girl.
Yeah, I think we just got chatting over Instagram, and I think when you work for yourself, it's quite... not lonely, but you are on your own, you run your own business, you don't really have like colleagues and stuff to talk to. So I think it is nice when like us online coaches sort of talk to each other and we can kind of rant to each other because it's a job at the end of the day, isn't it? Just like everyone else's. So we sort of were talking a little bit, we met up a few times. But yeah, I think let's start with you sort of introducing yourself and telling us how you sort of got into fitness.
So my name is Hayls. I got into fitness a long time ago. I'm not going to bore you with the whole shebang. But to keep it brief, I started out as sort of a footballer, went through my whole life as a footballer really until I got injuries and had to stop playing football. So that was obviously my first passion. Like that was what I was going to be doing my whole life. A bit like similar to you with the dance. And then just fell into the gym through just... I guess it's like a coping mechanism really at the start, and then it soon became from a coping mechanism to like, actually I really enjoy this and I actually love the results I'm seeing, and then just sort of fell into a bit of a passion, a bit of a lifestyle really, completely 360'd from just running, cardio constantly, just into weight training, and yeah, that's how I sort of got into the whole fitness thing, I guess. And then soon coaching came with that, I guess, as more as a passion. So just finding a job that I was actually interested in was the hardest thing. And yeah, just fell into coaching through that really. But yeah, it was definitely not like something I thought I'd ever be doing, like a coaching. I had coaches my whole life. I never really thought I would be a coach myself one day. Fell into coaching and thought, you know what, why not? Got loads of things I want to share and things I want to help other people with, and that was that for me. So yeah, it was a really weird journey to get into it from lockdown really. I think that's when everybody was like, whoa, like what do I want to do? Everyone has like a midlife crisis, don't they? And I was on the beach one day and I was just like, I want to take, like it's risky, but I thought I do want to help so many more women out there. I do want to make this a career for myself as well, and help women and be a coach. So that was how randomly I got into it. And when I told my family, they were like, oh, that's not a career, like that old thing.
Be like, look at me now.
Yeah. They're like, oh, your teaching's really secure and it's great pension. I'm like, Mum, I'm not going to be like 80 years old thinking about my great pension,
It's not the way
I'll be thinking about like, your purpose and like, did you actually fulfill that? And are you happy doing it? So... yeah, that was it for me.
What was it you were doing before?
So I was teaching before. So I was teaching food and nutrition in secondary school, which was actually really fun. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, I loved the whole like nutrition side of things and teaching kids about food labels, and like that's literally what I was doing and cooking all the time. And then just decided I couldn't do both. Was sort of picking up, was getting really busy with online coaching, and then just went all in on it.
Took the risk.
Yeah,
everyone's got to take that
Risk
risk, haven't
worth
they?
taking.
Yeah.
Well, you done a similar thing, didn't you? You took a risk.
Yeah, I was in a job that had nothing to do with health and fitness, and I hated it because I was like, not helping people, I'm not, doing what I love, and I just had to kind of quit.
Well,
and just
you
sort
come
of see
home
what happened.
moaning about a job every single day, and I was like, Emma, just fucking quit.
He was
mate.
like, you got a PT qualification, you're not even using it. Like, just do something about it. I was
she used to like, so she's well into her training. She'd always train, like love it. Like we'd train together all the time. And then she'd go and do this 9 to 5 that she absolutely hated.
Sitting on your
and
bum.
dreaded. I'd come to a Sunday, she'd be like, oh, I don't want to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you just make that leap, and both of you.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, it's risky. I think it's risky for everyone.
Scary.
And I always say to my clients, like, sometimes you got to take the risks because
100%.
otherwise you stay stuck where you are. I'd still be teaching today if I hadn't have just like taken that leap just to go and be like, I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
And I think confidence plays a big role in that. I think like if you asked me 5-10 years ago, even probably when you started out, you probably didn't have the confidence to go and do something like that. But you just got to go for it sometimes.
Yeah,
100%.
You only get one chance, don't you? You don't want regrets. Like famous saying, like when you're on your deathbed, you don't want to be laying there regretting everything that you could have done. You know what I mean? Like, so
It's funny though, isn't
regrets.
it? You know, when you're younger and you think like, what am I going to be when I'm older? Like, who would have actually thought like, I'm going to be an online coach?
I didn't even think that was a job then.
It wasn't even a thing, was it?
I mean, it's not exactly been going for years, is it? I mean, since COVID, it picked up massively because obviously loads of personal trainers got forced into it.
Yeah.
But it's not really been a huge thing, is it, for a long time?
No.
It's clearly booming now because everywhere you look.
Every Tom, Dick and Harry's an online coach
Honestly, literally.
Yeah.
And did you used to play football?
Yeah, so I played football since I was about 10, 11 actually. So that was all I did my whole life. I was in the streets playing football all day, every day. So that was all I ever really did and all I ever really knew, really. So I think our whole life was going to be a footballer generally. Went to America and was going to stay out there and carry on playing professionally, and then just got so many injuries after injuries, and my surgeon was like, hey, you can carry on playing, but you're going to be, you can't come back from this really. It's going to be a really long road. So I think I spent more time on the bench recovering from injuries than I did playing. I think out of the 4 years, I spent 2 years playing. Wow. 2 years watching, turning up for training. I had to go to every single training, every single game. And I think I got to that point where I was like, okay, Hayls, like enough is enough. Like you've tried. Your body can only do so much. Yeah. And I think that's where I had to do all the rehab, the strength training. I had to go into the gym. I had obviously no idea what to do in the gym at that point. And I think that's when I first felt a bit, don't know what to do here, I knew how to play football, I knew how to do all these things, and I've got into that gym environment and thought, oh my God, what do I do? This is all new to me. And I think I've gone through those feelings of, losing all the muscles, starting from scratch again and building up fitness from nothing really. And I know that lots of women struggle with that as well, don't they? It's that you're only comfortable in what you're comfortable in. I think if you know what you're doing in one area, to go into doing something completely different is daunting. It is.
And I think that just shows as well, because obviously people see you on Instagram, see you training, see your physique and think, wow. But you had to be that person that did feel unconfident in the gym and didn't know what they were doing. And it just shows that sort of everyone's been in that position and you have to be in that position to get to where you want to be.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's obviously something you can really help people with, because you know exactly what that's like.
Yeah, it's just being uncomfortable for so long to then be comfortable one day. Yeah. And it's hard because you look in the mirror, probably how we all did on the start of our journey, we looked the same. Like even, this year, every day I'm like, I look the same. But it's not until, months go by that you're then like, changes are really starting to come through, and everything I'm doing on a daily basis is leading up to. I used to think so many of the exercises I was given were pointless from my physio. I thought, why am I doing this? Just these most boring exercises. And I didn't enjoy it at the time, but I just persevered. And I just think, having that coach or that person to push you, which I had my whole life, got me to some crazy places that I just think I would never have been able to get there on my own.
Yeah.
That's support and accountability, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. Like a lot of people obviously think, I don't need that accountability or support. But if you want to level up yourself and go to the next stage, you do need it. Like everyone needs it, from elite businessmen to elite like football players or whatever, they all have a coach to take them to that next level.
Yeah.
It's the same for us really, and just instead of being average, you want to be better, right?
Exactly. It's like your potential is limitless, isn't it?
Oh,
really,
100%.
like we've been training a long time, all of us, and it's still. You still got more to give. You got more to learn. I got more to learn. I might be in good shape, but I could be in better shape. It's that mindset of you can keep leveling up, and you never really know where you can be.
Yeah. I feel like there's a ceiling when you're doing it on your own.
100%.
Everyone has a ceiling when they do it on their own. So it doesn't matter who you are or what ego you've got. You need someone to push you through that ceiling. And then, like you said, it's kind of endless, isn't it? You can become the best of anything.
And we all have days where I think we can't be arsed.
Oh,
we can't be bothered. And
100%.
motivation.
On here, like no one's motivated all the time.
No.
Like, it's just not. It's not a thing. I mean,
And people
it
think
it is on TikTok and Instagram as well as people. But it's not a thing. You're not always motivated. So
people assume we are as well, don't they? Because we're into fitness and we love fitness, but it's just not always there, is it? It's just.
Some days you just want to get cozy and not go to the gym.
Not do
Your alarm
anything.
goes off, you want to snooze it and throw your phone.
human beings, isn't it?
All the time. Yeah.
But it's true. I think you look at anybody who's got to where you want to be, they've had to make some sacrifices and compromises to get there, and it's not been a smooth, like everybody just, she just has it, they're just born that way. Like no one is. You've worked your ass off to look how you are. You both look in amazing shape too, and it's like you haven't just got there overnight.
No.
You've had to put in the work, and then you reap the rewards later on down the line. But
100%. I think like with motivation, it does come down to discipline, doesn't it? Because like we say, we're not motivated. So like, I know you might get up in the morning and go, I can't be asked to go to the gym, but you will go to the gym. You're not motivated to go to the gym, but you will still go. Or it gets to the evening, you've done a whole day of check-ins, and you're like, I need to go for a run. You don't want to go for a run, but you'll go for a run. I think that's like the difference, isn't it, of motivation and discipline.
Yeah, I mean, how do you guys stay disciplined? Like, I think that's the big topic my clients always say about it. It's like, I'm not motivated, or don't feel like it today. Like, we know it comes down to discipline, but like, how do you generally stay disciplined? How would you say?
I think for us, we're quite lucky because we hold each other accountable quite well. So that helps us massively.
Yeah.
For me, it's just routine. For me, it's like I train the same days. I run the same days. Food is pretty much meal plan. So I find discipline easy if it's routined.
Yeah.
If it's like spontaneous and random, it's really hard to be disciplined because it's so chaotic. But we're quite structured, aren't we, really?
Yeah, I think we bounce off each other quite a lot. I think it's very important to have people in your life who don't necessarily have to be on the same journey or sort of wavelength, but can sort of spur you on and give you that motivation and be like, come on, you know this is going to make you feel better and stuff like that. So I think we do really help each other in a sense. Like if I'm like, I can't be bothered, Mike's like, no, come on, let's do it, let's get it done, let's go together. Like, yeah. So I think
she did it to me the other weekend. I went out for the first time, had a few beers in it, felt a bit sorry for myself on Sunday. Set up a little camp to watch some films. It got to like 2:00. She's like, get up, tidy. I was
like, we're not doing this.
We're not doing this. I'm like, head down, just went and put all the covers back in. But then felt better for it, do you know what I mean? Because now you're up and you're not being a slob. But I have them days, you know. I mean, 2 beers and I'm done.
Yeah, I'm the same. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, you don't have time to be hungover, do you? Like you literally don't these days.
Not with not with when you're busy, 100%.
No,
absolutely.
But it is that thing, I think, of just like you say with the routine. I think if you have that structure, you know exactly what to do. It doesn't matter what days you necessarily. If you have to move them, that's okay. But I think as long as you get it done, how amazing do you feel? When I don't know about you, but like how good do you feel by the end of the week when you're like, I've just done everything I said I was going to do? Like my promises I made to myself. I haven't just sacked it off and been lazy, although I wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, like planning your week's essential. I mean, you get all your girls to plan their week and stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
It's I think routine and structure is so important. You're so more likely to achieve your stuff in a week if it's in a calendar or on your training app and written down. So it's just there, isn't it? It's there as another form of accountability. If it's in the diary, if you've got brunch in the diary, you're going to go to your brunch. If you've got a hospital appointment, you're going to go to a hospital appointment. If the gym's in there, you're more than likely going to go to the gym.
Yeah. Treat it like your doctor's appointment. Is that what you say to your clients?
Yeah.
So literally like, it's your
non-negotiable
doctor's appointment. It's in there.
Yeah.
Don't sack it off.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
just as important as a doctor's appointment. I mean, it can prevent you going to the doctor, so why wouldn't you, right?
Exactly.
The last place you want to be is a doctor, so if you can do something to prevent you from going to the doctors, surely you would do it.
Yeah, and I think if you invest more time into your health now where you can, like you think about when you're later on in life, how much it's going to save you time, cost. It's mad. You don't think about it when you're young, and I think as you get older, you start to value your health so much more.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like the gym. For when I'm older, I don't want to be 70, 80 and kind of not be mobile. So I want to be able to play with grandchildren, run around a little bit, and still be somewhat active when you're 70, 80 or whatever. Obviously, there comes a time in life. Some people are not as lucky. Things happen, but if you can put the advantage in your corner to be able to be somewhat active when you're older, why would you not do that? And that comes from building muscle and being mobile and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. For your mental health as well, not just physically. Everyone knows you feel so much better when you're actually in control of your health and fitness and moving more and getting those good endorphins flowing and stuff like that. So I think the more we do that now, the more it's going to last later in life, isn't it?
Yeah. I think people always start their journey with like, I want to like be this weight, or I want to look like this. I don't know if you get it, but sometimes clients will be like, I want to look like her. And I'm always thinking, but it starts out with how I want to look, but it always comes back to how I want to feel.
Yeah.
I think
That's a great one.
every time on a check-in, I think it's not just like, this weight. Like there's so much more to what you weigh on a scale.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I'm heaviest I've ever been now, but the happiest I've ever been, and the strongest and the fittest I've ever been. And that's nothing to do with a scale. It's down to like how you feel.
Yeah.
Do you find the same?
Yeah, I think there's a
Absolutely.
massive, like, education is really important in teaching people the difference between your body and the scales, because you're so conditioned from an early age, going to the doctors or being a kid, or your scales going up, you're fat, scales going down, you're skinny.
Yeah.
But the reality is, when you're going to the gym and you're living a lifestyle like we teach, the scales will kind of become irrelevant at some point. You know, like you said, you're the heaviest you've been. If someone else was the heaviest they've been and they haven't been on a journey, they'd be mortified.
They'd be shitting a brick.
Yeah.
You know, but you're the happiest you've been. So it comes down to how you look, how you feel, as opposed to what a number says.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely. And you coach just female clients, don't you? Like me.
Yeah.
What do you sort of find is their most common struggle? Like what sort of comes up the most that you feel you need to help them with?
I think it's more so their environment a lot of the time. I think a lot of it is sort of, you know, their mindset around things. So I think their self-belief or lack of self-belief. I think starting out, because you've constantly gone through failing of diets and exercise plans and things haven't worked or haven't gone how you thought they were going to work, I think it's coming in and starting over fresh and thinking, you know, I can do this, and there'll be blips in the road and it's how they respond to it. And I think mindset and self-belief is the one thing I think we always start with on the coaching journey, because that's the one thing that will either rocket them forwards or really hold them back. And really stop them from getting past that. Okay, well, the scales might not move for your first, you know, couple of weeks. Doesn't mean there's not other areas that you're doing really well. So I think a lot of it is, knowledge, obviously, not knowing, you know, what to do or what they should be eating. And that's a big thing, is their eating habits. And then I think it then comes down to sort of their mindset around how they deal with just everyday life stresses. You know, their environment, they have loads of socials, they'll have work events, they'll have all these things, but how do you deal with those things? And I think that's where they really hit a roadblock and kind of go all or nothing. And in the past will have done that. And then coming into the program, it's now like, okay, I've actually got support. I've actually got structure and accountability, and I now know what to do because I've had that check-in that week.
Yeah.
Would you say the same for you?
Yeah, I think like when you're in the situation you're in, it's so overwhelming and you can't really see a way out of it or how to help yourself. But then when you get someone from the outside looking in at your situation, they see it so differently, and they can see so many different ways that things can be adapted or can be sort of changed or supported so that you can do what you're doing now but still see really, really good results. And I think that's where having a coach or a mentor, like we said earlier, for anything can help, because it's that outsider perspective. Yeah, especially for women who do just get so overwhelmed for so many different reasons about so many different things, because life is stressful, isn't it? But that doesn't mean it has to stop you from getting good results or getting to where you want to be.
The life kind of break the circuit as well, because like you probably find someone's been really good and they go out for a meal or a brunch and then they're mortified and they're like, fuck, I just ruined everything. When the reality is you haven't. But go back before they had a coach, they'll just forget the next week because they think, I've just ruined everything, so I might as well just have this week off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's learning to cope with life, because life isn't going to go away.
No.
I mean, the program needs to work for you, not you work for the program. Otherwise, you just end up failing.
And there's never going to be a perfect time, is there? I don't know if you get it a lot, but I know lots of women are like, oh, I wanted to reach out to you a year ago and this happened and that happened. And, you know, here I am a year later and I'm still unhappy in my body. And I think to myself, I really wish you would have just messaged me a year ago, because you get, you know, to a point where you think there is no perfect time. You'll always have a holiday. You'll always have, you know, unfortunately, like a loss of a family member or something that you have to learn to deal with. And I think that's when you probably need the most support, isn't it? Yeah. When you going through a hard time, that's not when you should sort of run away and struggle on your own.
Yeah.
No, 100%. You get it from a kind of an angle. Someone wants to give it 100%, but you have to look at life as a whole. Like, that's just not how it works. Like, you're not always going to have that 100%. But why would you want to go on a coaching program just to give it 100% and then something comes up down the line and then it just screws everything up? So, like you said, if you can learn to deal with all these factors of life whilst getting into the shape of your life, it's a win-win.
Yeah. They're going to be the biggest life lessons, aren't they? The times that are really hard that you do really have to learn how to deal with, and it will make you more resilient. It will make you learn more about yourself and what you're capable of. So rather than looking at it as like, oh, that's happened, so I'm going to stop now, overcome it, and then the next thing that comes along, you're going to be so much more resilient with it, aren't you?
Yeah, imagine if they kept going all the times where they think, oh, I want to stop, and they stop. Like, imagine if they actually kept going for like months and months down the line, where could they actually be? It's mad. The potential is mad, but I think they just don't see it. I think that's what I see, is like you see it when you're in your clients, and I do too. It's like you can see where they could be and what they are capable of, but it's just bringing that out of them, I think, and making them realise that they can do it.
Yeah, it's a mindset thing. But you can't wait for the perfect time. Like, I know we say this, it sounds a bit grim, but I mean, life's a ticking clock, mate. Every second you're 1 second closer to dying. That's the reality, right? Your clock's getting smaller and smaller, so you shouldn't put anything on hold. Whether you're in a relationship you don't like, get out. You're in a job you don't like, get out. You're unhappy with your health and fitness, get help. Do you know what I mean? It's sad. That's the sad, but that is the reality. And so many people hold on to things. And then, anyway, I'm going to go on a tangent.
God, you're going a bit deep there, aren't you?
It's frustrating because you hear of people in situations and it's always the same. Oh, it's not that easy. Yeah, fucking life's not that easy.
No.
You just have to just grow it by the balls and get on with it.
Grow some balls.
Gosh. You tell him, Mike. Tell him.
It's not mean in a horrible way. I mean, like, it's hard to see it. Some people just can't help it.
Tough love. Sometimes you need it.
You just need to just do it and don't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. What has been the biggest highlight of your career so far in online coaching?
Oh,
that's a bit of an on-the-spot one.
That is a tricky one. I think for me, just building up to getting clients to do like things that they would never do, like half marathons, photo shoots. Like, I think for me, I started out like just wanting to help clients on that like surface level, and I think realizing that as time's gone by, I've been like, you know, what can we get our clients doing that they might not ever do on their own? And things like the photo shoots for me are always a highlight, because I think it's always going and meeting clients, and you probably feel the same. It's so being able to not just be behind the screen. I know it's online and we can work for anyone in the world, but it's being able to go and share those moments with them and like share that experience with them as well has been amazing. I think for me, just the client events and all those other things that we've managed to do has been a massive highlight. 'Cause it's something when I started, I didn't even think of. I didn't think of that. I thought online is online and that's how it's going to be. But I think incorporating some in-person things as well to be able to meet clients, if you can meet them, is for me always a highlight, because I still I'm a people person. I love to still see clients, and like you say, you're online all the time. It can be lonely sometimes working from home. Luckily you have each other in here, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know, Hayls.
we split it up sometimes.
Nathan has to break up some fights in here, I'm sure.
He let some brew for the podcast.
That could be another episode.
I like to come in and wind everyone
Some Tuesdays, if he's in the doghouse, you know, it might not happen. But it is just I think that it does definitely get to some points where I do think, God, I haven't left the house for 4 days. And then being able to go out, I think is amazing. Like go and put on, again, I'm on a tangent here, but I think the most important thing, or the significant thing that I think I'm most proud of, is just being able to hold these things and bring the community together, because I think community for me is really important.
We're organising sort of like a client event. I think you are too.
A joint one.
And obviously it's so exciting to see everyone and get everyone together, but just like talking in front of like all these people when you're behind a screen all the time and you don't have that human contact, it's a bit daunting. Like I'm thinking about it, like I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my words out because I don't have that comfort of like the screen in front of me. But again, that's like a confidence thing, and you've got to sort of like push yourself, just like photo shoots. Put yourself out your comfort zone and just push yourself, and you might surprise yourself. You never know.
You had the best time, and it is that I remember in my client event was my first one last summer, and I remember watching back my video and like my voice was breaking and I was like, I didn't think I was nervous. Like I had to speak in front of kids every day as a job, and I thought, I'm not a nervous person, or like I'm quite confident speaking. And then it wasn't until I put myself in that environment, which was so new to me, I thought, oh my God, this is really scary, because everyone's, you know, looking up to you and listening to you.
They're kind of idolising you and looking up to you, and you've got to provide something. You're like, oh shit.
And if they say you're not confident, they're going to think, oh God, she's not confident.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it is.
Oh, that's exciting. Where are you holding yours? You don't know, you're just planning it.
Just Benmark Studio.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, doing a bit of a joint thing, so getting both our clients together.
We're doing a joint thing, which would be quite, it'd be cool, man.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
What's yours? What's your highlight of coaching so far?
I would say definitely the photo shoots that I've done, 100%. Like you said, it's so nice to just see people in person, and had a lot of tears and a lot of emotional moments, and them just not believing where they started and where they got to. And I got emotional. We spoke about it not too long ago, but just seeing people in person and actually seeing the difference that you've made in their lives, I think is huge.
Yeah, it's
priceless.
Yeah, priceless.
Yeah.
Some people don't see it, do they? They don't understand it, probably looking from the outside, but you do have such an impact on people's lives. Obviously, you hear it from check-ins or catch-up calls or whatever. It is amazing how much you can help someone.
Yeah.
You think how they feel on a daily basis, like that means more than anything. I mean, you can have a nice handbag, great, that make you happy for 10 minutes or an outing, but you have every day of happiness. That's a huge impact.
That's massive, isn't it?
Yeah. And of course, you have a dog.
Oh,
same age as ours.
This is where Mike don't get to talk anymore.
We can't let you go off this podcast without having a bit of puppy chat. But yeah, you have a dog, same sort of age.
I do.
How are you finding working at home with the puppy always around?
It's tough.
Yep.
I remember when he's a puppy, I remember it was like my check-ins, I was like, sorry girls, and all the check-ins, you're going to get a dog barking in the background. It's nice. It's that thing I said about like working on your own. He's like my little colleague. He's like my little companion. He is my little annoying assistant. But it is just really nice having him, and he makes me so happy. He really does. But I mean, he's definitely difficult. It's definitely, you feel like it's preparing you. It's got to be worse than a kid, right? I mean, I don't know. It's got to be.
Well, we were talking about this the other day, weren't we? Because they're obviously so hard. Like having a dog is so hard. I think until you have one, you don't. I didn't realise how hard it would be. But we were saying like any problem that he has, we always know that you can train them out of it. Like you can always change it. Whereas a kid, you don't train your kids, do you? You don't say, oh, they're doing this, so let's get them to do this. So I don't know what is harder. No. I don't know.
Well, you don't know until you experience both, right?
No.
Yeah.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because you speak to a lot of people with dogs and kids, and they say puppies harder.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's for a shorter period.
Yeah.
If you say that to someone who doesn't have a dog but has kids, they don't get too. They're not too.
They're like, you don't even know.
You don't know.
You just wait.
I'm like, you don't know. He's hard.
I'd rather just sit on the fence and just wait until there's kids. And
Yeah. Like you said, I think puppies are really, really hard at the start, but well, apparently once they get to about 3, it's a lot easier.
Yeah,
So just
we've
2 more years to go.
Man, calm down.
Whereas kids, you got them till they're bloody 18, haven't you? All that.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Shorter lifespan, isn't it? But
Yeah.
it is, the puppy stage is gone. It's the teenage stage now.
So
of
much
the
worse.
just, I don't give a shit. I'm not listening to
Yeah.
you. I'm like, oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not my dog. He runs off. I'm like, he's not my dog.
Don't know who that is. Yeah, I think that is quite a nice podcast.
lovely.
Again,
Yeah,
really nice
love
to just
that.
have someone's different opinion, different experiences and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you very much, Hayls.
Thank you for having
Thank you
me.
for coming
You
on.
haven't done your thing.
Oh, I do a little affirmation at
Oh,
the
no,
end.
Emma.
Let me get that up. We love a little affirmation to end off the podcast.
Last week's was a good one.
It was a good one. This one says, successful people see hard work as an opportunity, not a punishment.
Yeah.
That's quite a nice one,
I
isn't
like
it?
that.
Kind of fits in.
Yeah.
Guess with the being motivated and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you feel like what you're doing to get to where you are is hard work, it's not a bad thing.
No.
You've got to do it to get to where you want to be.
You're
So that's
growing.
your opportunity to get there. So I quite like that.
There you go. Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're knocking them out.
Good way to finish the week.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice. But yeah, thank you everyone for
Yeah.
listening. Thank you, Hayls, for coming on.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
And we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
See ya.